नमस्कार, हम ग्रीस के आइलैंड रोडोस से आ रहे हैं जहां डीओसी यानी कि जो डायलॉग ऑफ सिविलाइजेशंस का आयोजन किया जा रहा है। विश्व भर से यहाँ पर एक्सपर्ट्स आए हैं, लीडर्स आए हैं, ताकि विश्व स्तर के जो प्रॉब्लम्स हैं उनके लिए कोई सोल्यूशन निकालें। हमारे साथ जॉन क्रिस्टोफर बास हैं जो सीईओ हैं इस पूरे फोरम के। Thank you so much for speaking to us, Jean. This is called the dialogue of civilization, but it's also called the global disorder. There seems to be a global disorder of things. There is a trust deficit in the world. How important is the dialogue?
Well, first of all, thanks a lot for having me. It is also about dialogue. It's about world disorder, but also world order. We have mentioned, in a way, both options, and I think we are in a way either at the crossroads or at a time where, if we are doing well in promoting dialogue and a genuine dialogue, we can, in a way, contribute to heading the world towards world order. But if you are not able to create this dialogue and to contribute to innovative response, innovative solution, we will be heading towards the world disorder. So this is, in a way, the option for all parts of the world. I think what makes this forum quite unique is that we have leaders and thinkers and influencers from all parts of the world, from India, from China, from Russia, from Europe, from the Middle East, from Africa. And we are all, in a way, committed to look for innovative solutions through the dialogue. And dialogue doesn't mean that we will agree on everything. I think, this is what people must understand, is that through the dialogue, start the journey of bringing people together. It doesn't mean that we have to agree on everything. We will never agree on everything. But at least through the dialogue, we can agree on how to disagree.
But are you worried that there's been an increased nationalism and populism across the world and more barriers have come up? And this is something that, in fact, several of the speakers today spoke about as well, that look, we need to talk to each other, not at each other, but talk to each other. So are you worried with the barriers which have come up and a hardening opposition?
Of course. We are all concerned about, calling the rise of populism, the rise of nationalism, the claim for identity, and so on and so forth. But we cannot ignore it. Like it or not, it is a reality. And we see, indeed, in many parts of the world, this rise of either populist nationalism, identity, or whatsoever. What does that mean? And I think that's what we said this morning in the introduction of in the forum, is that during the past 20 years or 30 years, which was been really the globalization, we have seen globalization as setting standards, economic standards, financial standards, trade standards, to say, okay, now we create the system so that the globalization economic device will work. So we can increase by 100, by 1,000 the flows of goods, the flows of money, the flows of... And then we realize now, 30 years later or 20 years later, that we forgot a fundamental component, which is culture and civilization and human. Is that we, all together, Indians, Europeans, and from other parts of the world, we realize that our human dimension, our identity, has not been taken into account in this globalization process. And this is why, it has generating so much fear, it has generating so much anxiety, plus, the combination of that with technology, social media, which in a way are, let's say, fueling the fears and anxiety and the radical position. Then this is how we are in this situation. It should not prevent us to engage in dialogue and also to keep a profound trust in human, let's say, wisdom. This is where we can learn all from each other. We as Europeans have been witnessing those world wars, and we know how much it costs in terms of human, in terms of development, and we certainly don't want that anymore. And so this is what we need continuously to bring back and to say that the solution is not the radicalization and the tension, but the solution is indeed to engage in a dialogue. But we should not be naive. There are serious difficulties, but nothing can justify, let's say, the radicalization of belief. The one among the other, one against the other, or building walls. There is no reason why, in a way, a religion or identity or culture should become such, let's say, an obstacle of cooperation among countries and among people.
You mentioned social media. How worried are you with the spreading of fake news? And is that completely, weakening democracies and disturbing the narrative between nations and dialogue?
But I think, the social media are, let's say, an enabler of the dissemination of fake news. But every generation or every age is coming up with progress and also the fear because of progress. I mean, there's the story that always said, that in the 19th century, when we started building, the railway system, and that the railways were going across the fields in the countryside, there were lots of people who said, this is the hyper technology, and this will scare the cows, and that the cows will produce a milk that will be inappropriate. And we are in a way transitioning. The social media, we all have a Facebook account that is not longer older than 10 years and so this is still completely new. And so there is a new radical, let's say, tool that is in a way contributing to the connection among people, which is positive, but that can also bear some risk. And what we need just to understand or to agree is that the connectivity doesn't mean harmony. The connectivity can allow exactly the opposite. So what the challenge now is, in a way, to mitigate the risk and to optimize the opportunities, because indeed the social media can bring extraordinary opportunities for people to build alliances, to share concern. How many of the major issues that we see today, and for instance the tremendous mobilization on climate change, has been, possible because of social media, because people can exchange, they can connect. We see also some people's or citizens' mobilization that has been possible because of social media. So, we need to look at the glass half full and half empty. But like any progress, it is in a way bringing its part of risk.
The DOC, of course, is out of Berlin, but it's held here in Greece. Are you also looking east and perhaps at India and China, two big countries with sizable populations? So are you looking at the dialogue moving there as well?
Well, I'm glad you asked this point, and because expanding eastwards has been a key priority for India, for DOC for a long time. It is true that we are a Berlin-based organization, but we are not a German organization, we are not a European organization, we are a truly global organization. We have offices in Berlin, but we also have offices in Moscow. We are having now a liaison office in Brussels, in Buenos Aires, in Argentina, and we have launched last June or started the creation of a DOC office in Delhi, in India, that is now under, let's say, the leadership of Mr. Keswani, who is a very highly respected former member of parliament and the board director of Air India, and so he is a man of very high reputation, and so we are now planning really to develop more and more activities in India, like also in China. But India is really through a DOC office that we would like to, let's say, develop on a regular basis, because we consider that India is not just, let's say, a target, to expand, but it is also, and I would say even first and foremost, a country that we have to learn a lot. We are talking about the dialogue of civilization and culture, and I think that India is really the real example of, let's say, the pluralism of culture, the diversity of culture that are living together. I don't know how many languages are in a way coexisting, how many culture, and I think there is a tremendous great things to learn from the Indian culture, the Indian wisdom, the Indian experience, and so we are very keen, and this is, as far as I'm concerned, as the CEO of this organization, one of my greatest excitement and proudness, to develop this activity in India.
We look forward to seeing the forum in India. Thank you so much, Mr. Bas, for speaking
Thank you.
to us.
Thank you for
so
having
much.
me.
Thank you.